Hello and welcome back to Legendary Lunacy. I'm your host, Lord Papa Lunacy, and we're going to do another creepypasta today. I know we're putting out a lot of these, but we've been wanting to do creepypastas for so long, and I've enjoyed doing the storytelling stuff since high school, and it's just been far too long since I've done it. So, without further ado, we'll just get right into it. Today's story, The Dangers of Fame, written by Emma Froh. I awoke to the sun shining through the slit in the curtains and an odd feeling. When I sat up, I was struck with confusion when I saw my surroundings. This wasn't my house. How'd I end up passed out on the floor in someone else's home? Okay, think. What happened last night? I said, rubbing my head in what seemed like a futile effort to make the memory return. Just then, something clicked. The party. My friends and colleagues held a party in celebration of another successful book completed. Did I really drink that much? No, it wasn't that. I knew what a hangover felt like, and this feeling I had wasn't that. Something didn't feel right. I didn't feel right. It was as if something was missing, and I just couldn't put my finger on it. I went to stand up, but froze at what I saw next. I saw blood smeared and stained the hardwood floor. I jolted to my feet and searched my body for any cuts or scars, and I found nothing. If I wasn't the one that had been hurt, then what that meant was someone else was here with me, possibly bleeding to death. I shoved my hands in my pockets, rummaging around for my phone so that I could call for help. Searching my pockets for the phone led to no avail. I looked around the room once more and to see if there was a phone or something that I could use, and I saw nothing. I explored my unfamiliar environment, only to find that there were no phones whatsoever in this house. Maybe if I went outside and found the neighbor, they could help. I looked outside and saw that I was in the middle of nowhere. I had no neighbors to call upon. This was bad. I had to find the other person to get out of here fast. I looked everywhere, opening every door after door, looked in the bedrooms, bathrooms, upstairs. I called out to the person, hoping they would yell back and I could pinpoint their location, but I heard nothing. Suddenly, out of the nothing, I heard a truck pull up outside. I ran down the hall in a panic. I came face to face with yet another door. It was open, though, and I could only assume that, at the time, it led to the basement. I heard footsteps making their way to the front door. I entered and quickly made my way into the darkness. I tried to be careful as careful as possible while descending the steps into the pitch-black basement. As soon as my foot touched the floor, I heard the door upstairs open, then slam shut. "Honey, I'm home, and I've got a surprise for you," he shouted, and I heard some footsteps making their way to the basement. I stumbled around and trying to find a place to hide or something to hit him over the head with. Just then I tripped over something. I hit the ground and then started feeling around to see if I could figure out what it was. I grabbed a hold of something and it was someone's foot. For a split second I was relieved to have found the other person. It was still kind of dark, so I couldn't really see much, but I was able to make out the shape of a girl sitting in the chair. "Don't worry," I whispered. "We'll get out of here soon." Our captor was at the threshold of the basement. I turned around, looking for a place to hide. Something caught my eye. I saw the tools that were sprawled out on top of the table, glistening in what little light had filled the room. I scurried under the table and pressed myself tightly up against the wall. I saw a bat leaning up against the side of the table. When he wasn't paying attention, that's when I'd make my move to get both of us out of here. He turned on the light when he hit the bottom step. The captor came into view. Well, the bottom half of him anyway. He was wearing dress shoes and a tux. I saw the girl a little more clearly now. She was covered in scars. Her skin was a sickening tint of white from the amount of blood she'd lost. "Isn't it beautiful?" "Well, it's not nearly as beautiful as you are, though." The unknown man draped a silky white dress over the girl and got down on one knee. The edge of the table was just barely covering his face. He took her hand and set a ring on her finger. The way her arm dropped to her side reminded me of a rag doll. I wondered how she could be so calm and so still in this situation. And that's when I realized the grim fact was, she was dead. I let out a gasp and quickly covered my mouth in an effort to stop the noise. but the man didn't seem to notice. You've made me a very happy man. You know that? I mean, we've had our moments, but I never stopped believing that we would be together someday. I listened closely to him. He sounded very familiar. Did I actually know this psycho from somewhere? He stood up and made his way over towards the table. I slowly extended my hand towards the bat, and he shuffled through his tools for a second and finally found what he was looking for. A book dropped to his side. My book. He turned around, gave the corpse a kiss on the cheek, and made his way towards the stairs. And now was my chance. I gripped the bat and shot out from under the table. When I was right behind him, I closed my eyes and swung as hard as I could. After a moment, I opened my eyes and saw him just standing not 3 inches from my face. I jolted back and fell. I closed my eyes again and started frantically swinging. Get the hell away from me! I kept waving the bat around, hoping that when I opened my eyes again, he'd be lying face down. I stopped for a second and hesitantly opened my eyes. He was still standing, looking straight ahead at the body in the chair. How was he still standing? How could he not have noticed me screaming and hitting him with the bat? I'll let you get ready, he said before turning around and making his way up the stairs. After seeing his face, it hit me. He was at the party. I could have sworn that I saw him at the party. He was one of the waiters. He brought me my drink, and then the rest is kind of fuzzy. But I vaguely recall him carrying me out to the truck. And then I was here, and he took the bat, and the bat. I got ready to swing again, only to find that I wasn't holding it. I looked back at the table, and there it was, propped up against the side, but I could have sworn that I had grabbed it. What the hell was going on? And then I saw something that explained why I couldn't grab the bat, the feeling I had earlier. The feeling that something was missing. I soon realized that what was missing was a heartbeat when I saw my body sitting in the chair with the forehead bashed in. The story is preserved in loving memory of Emma Froh. Oh. That's sad. Did this writer pass away? If this writer passed, that is really sad. I thought her story was really good. If this is like part of the story, then I don't know. I thought it was good. Some of these comments are a little harsh, but as a reply, you know. Well, that's pretty much everything we need to see here, but thank y'all for watching so much. Tune in next time. Let me comment down below if you've got a story you want us to read. If you liked the story, great. If you didn't like the story, then well, thanks for sticking around this long if you didn't like the story. And if you did, still, thanks for sticking around. Tune in next time. We'll have more scary stories and everything. Sit back, relax, and enjoy the darkness around you.